Japan Dyno, the best of Japan to you. Howdy, this is Andy of Japan Dyno, and I have for you an HKS super sequential blow-off valve from Japan, here in Japan, made by the HKS Company of Japan, a famous tuning and performance and parts company. The HKS super sequential, a diaphragm type blow-off valve. This particular valve on the flange for the Evolution, this is the Mitsubishi Evolution flange, same flange also used on the GTO and the 3000 GT, as it's known in overseas markets, GTO here in Japan, and also on the S14, S15 Sylvier. So the flange, a vehicle specific, although not too specific because a number of vehicles use the same flange. The valve itself, a universal blow-off valve, good for any turbo vehicle, universal and adjustable, and a short length of rubber hose here. So the super sequential blow-off valve, go to some closer photos, the valve here, diaphragm type blow-off valve. It has a diaphragm incorporated in this area here. The diaphragm is of course pushed on by the boost pressure from below and pulled on by the inner manifold vacuum. When the combination of the boost pressure and inner manifold vacuum are enough to overcome the spring in the back here, then the diaphragm will move backwards, pulling a small piston, which will then release the sound from the front in small little bursts, sequential bursts, thus the name sequential blow-off valve. Now the diaphragm, of course, resisted by a spring, and the spring can be tensioned by moving in and out the little bolt on the back and locking in place with a locking nut. So therefore, a fully adjustable type blow-off valve, good for any turbo vehicle. So the super sequential blow-off valve, releasing boost in sequential squirts of little boost out the front there, and that distinctive HKS sound. And the other side of the valve, tidier than we saw previously, but still some corrosion and things on the outside of the valve. Does not affect the function at all. And a close-up of the right-hand side of the valve, cleaner than the left. And the back housing, the spring housing, the nipple which goes to the inner manifold, the bolt and locking nut, the housing for the spring, diaphragm housing, piston runs through this length here, and the trumpet from where the sound emanates. And the front of the unit with that distinctive HKS super sequential look, that purple little piston valve there, and this is where when the diaphragm pulls this little valve back, the boost squeezes around the side of this little valve, the purple valve here, releasing the burst in short squirts and giving that distinctive sequential blow-off valve sound. So the HKS super sequential blow-off valve, made in Japan, from Japan. Thank you. In order to serve you better, we have our website at www.japandyno.com, as well as our blog, the Japan Dyno Daily Fix, where we feature items of special interest. Look forward to seeing you there.